So I'm sitting inside of a 2015 Toyota Prius. It's going to be the hybrid model. It's got the audio touchscreen. I'm just going to walk you through and just kind of explain what a couple things are and let you know kind of what's going on with this car in case you were interested in a pre-owned one. The one I'm sitting in happens to only have about 8,000 miles on it, so it's still fairly new. Starting on your left side, you do have the power windows. As far as they're all auto up down, so it's kind of nice, and you can see it right there. My door locks and my window lock controls are going to be right there. And then moving down, I do have my mirror controls down here, so left and right. You just toggle between the two and then pick what you want. And then my dimmer, as far as my my switches, it'll brighten and lower them. And then you can see I have a couple of spots where you can fill in. This is depending on the model you're in, and you're going to have stuff there. Moving over to the steering wheel, show you kind of a couple things here. Pretty simple stuff over here. Volume control right here. Jump in between like your favorite tracks, or if you have preset stations set up, you can see I'm toggling through stuff over here on the touchscreen. So that's what this is right here. Moving down, you have your Bluetooth control, so voice command to hang up a call, and then of course to answer or receive a call. Moving over to your other side, you do have your AC controls on the steering wheel, so kind of nice, a little bit different from some other cars. My display up here, this is actually going to change the display that is up in here. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see how close we can get in there. There we go. So right now you can see my drivetrain to tell me what mode I'm driving in. I can switch over to a couple different things as far as hybrid indications, consumption as far as what I'm using, eco savings, things like that. So it's what I can get here. So it's just kind of nice that you can see those things. And you'll notice that this is centered. So as far as what I'm seeing is actually in the center of the dash. So it's kind of nice. I mean, some people like it over to the left side. That's just your classic fill, as far as your gas and your speedometer and all that. This is centered in this vehicle. You'll notice that I do have auto on-off headlights. They are right over here. My auto switch is right there. My windshield wiper controls are over here on the other side. If I can squeeze through the steering wheel, you can see them right there. And then my cruise control stuff is back here on the little toggle. Not a huge fan of the toggle, but if you're used to it, it works. Excuse me. Maybe over here, the touchscreen. You can notice in the touchscreen, because the window's so slanted, it does catch a lot of light, so it's not the easiest to read. So just something to keep in mind if you're looking at a car like this, that this is something that might play a role. And of course, it might be just I'm sitting at a weird angle right now, so I won't put too much into that. Switching between miles per hour and kilometers per hour. It's as easy as right here. My clock controls are right here. Power to my audio setup is going to be right here. You can see I've got everything going on down here. It is touchscreen related, and I can control it, off the buttons too. So it just depends on what I want to prefer. So you can see me jumping around now off the steering wheel. So that's what I'm doing there. As far as apps on the car, it's kind of cool. It offers some different things. As far as options, this one is set up with the navigation. You have Pandora compatibility, iHeartRadio, fuel prices in the area. Your phone has to be connected up to use a lot of these things. OpenTable, if you're not familiar with what OpenTable is, it allows you to book restaurants, like set up reservations and things like that. Finding movie stocks, traffic, HD traffic, stuff like that. So pretty cool. It does require your phone to be connected, but some different options. So it's kind of nice to play around with. What I was showing you up there in the menu on the car, so you can get to that same menu right here. So that way, if you want to see like drivetrain mode, what I'm driving in and things like that, you can absolutely do it. So just something kind of nice. Jumping over to my Bluetooth, that would be from right there. And then, of course, this stuff is seeking around as far as my tracks if I don't want to use the touchscreen and audio-wise jump around. Oops. Moving down to my AC, it is a digital display, so kind of hard to read right now just because we are catching that sunlight like I mentioned. You have your fan speed controls here, along with up on the steering wheel, which I was pointing out earlier. Actually, this is your temperature controls, not your fan speed, excuse me. Your temperature controls will be on this side, and then where you want the air to go. A couple different modes you can drive on. Obviously, when you have a charge built up, you can use the purely electric mode, and then it'll kind of switch off and on as you go. Your flashers are right here. To park, you use right here. And if you've never been inside of a Prius, it does have this really tiny little knob that you use. My only complaint about this is this right here. When I switch into reverse, you get that beeping sound the entire time you're reversing. Not really sure who that's for. Typically, this would be on the outside of the car because you would want those around you to know you're reversing, but maybe it's because the car's quiet. They want to make sure you know that you are in reverse. So it's always going to make that sound when it does it. And it does have a backup camera, so you can see right there. I'm trying to shade it to where you can see a little bit better. When you shift out of that, then it'll change. So if I go into drive, that goes away. And you go into drive, slide deck and down, along with my braking system. So that's how the shifter works. So just be aware of that. Another thing, this car does have heated seats, but you'll notice that they are down below. So as far as touching them while you're driving, not the best location, but it does exist. So at least the feature is there. And then you do have a power outlet under there too. So that way if you want to run to your phone or anything. As far as other power outlets, you do have one in your center console. So there is another 12-volt outlet in there, along with the USB outlet. So a little bit more functional, I would say, in this one. I do have a small place to store like change and stuff like that. I do have cup holders and things like that. It does have one really cool thing that some of the Hondas used to have that they don't carry anymore. It has the top setup as far as extra storage and below. A lot of people really like this because they'll keep, you know, sometimes sunglasses or just their insurance and certain things up here, and then the rest will go down below. So, excuse me, pretty nice function as far as having the two. A lot of people really like that and kind of miss it. When you're looking at your mirror, you do have a home link setup, or what I would call like your garage clicker. You can hook up to that. Then you have normal new car stuff is what I call, you know, sunglass holders and mirrors and things like that. Looking up the back. So this is one of the knocks on the car. It's the same that the Honda Insight had too, is it has the split window out the back. So there's a few cars out there. It's not that bad to look out of, but it does take getting used to. So I know a lot of people struggle with this sometimes because looking out your back mirror, you can see. So let's see if I can focus on the mirror, you can see it. You can see what I'm talking about right there. You see that in your field of vision. So it can be a little bit bothering for some, but it's not that bad. So just be aware that that's gonna be something you're looking at. If you look over at the sides, you'll notice some panels right here with air vents, and that's gonna actually vent the battery. So that's venting the hybrid battery. So that's what that is in case you were curious. Then you have your seats that fold down and things like that. So inside of a 2015 Honda, or excuse me, Honda. Sorry, I do a lot of Hondas. And inside of a 2015 Toyota Prius. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Just wanted to give you a quick review because I happened to get this car in and thought some people might be interested to know a little bit more about it. Thank you much.